Hello dudes, and today we're going to be watching the entire Fortnite storyline. Honestly, just because I was curious. This was like 2 years ago, so I'm sure there's a couple new chapters and whatever, and we could watch those if you want. But I've just seen so much about Fortnite, and I know none of the lore. So I'm really curious about it. Is it a valid storyline? Does it have like 15 different things that are impossible to follow? Well, we're going to find that out today. So let's check it out.
Fortnite's storyline is 6 years in the making, and in that time we followed a journey that ties every single event.
Okay, wait. I do want to say this. I stopped at the Drift, season. So I think that was season 5? Because I stopped before there were even chapters. Back in my day in Fortnite, right? We didn't have all these new things you got.
Season and character together. While key moments come and go, there is one thing that has always remained constant. It has stood the test of time as wars have been fought above it, supervillains have tried to steal it, and it is destabilized way too often. From the first appearance in the Butterfly event to now being the key of Chapter 5, this is the entire Fortnite storyline explained. So many things have changed since our first video, but not where this story started. All of this began millions of years ago when there was a Big Bang. It formed every single universe.
Okay, so as we know, it's just basic explaining of the universe, the Big Bang. Okay, let's see.
In an instant, and at the center of it all, was Reality Zero. It's here where the Big Bang left behind a huge mass of energy, and instead of spreading it out, the energy compressed itself into an orb we call the 0 point. This is tethered to every single reality in existence, connecting the entire Omniverse, and that's what makes it so.
The Omniverse? I've heard of the multiverse. I did not know Fortnite has its own, that's crazy. The Omniverse? How deep does this go? I know one character two characters. I know the fish and Jonesy. Oh, and the banana.
Incredibly powerful. As a result, it needed to protect itself from anyone who tried to wield this power. And this is where the island is created. On the surface, it appears as a powerful storm with a fake sky, appearing as a huge bubble in space and time. Anyone who tried to visit this island would either be wiped out by the storm's defenses or manipulated by the 0 point's strange effects, until one man came along. Against all of the odds, he captured control of the orb and began to wield its power. We know him as Geno. He's a scientist who is obsessed with perfection and also leader of a medieval kingdom known as the Oathbound. During his time ruling as a champion, Geno started to experiment with future technologies. We're not sure how he discovered the 0 point, but once it was located, he instantly realized its full potential. His long-term vision was to create the perfect society, and his time with the Oathbound was just phase 1 of his true destiny. With the orb, he knew that if he could see how every reality was made and what was different about each one, he could use that information to truly create perfection.
So Geno is kind of like scientist gone mad. I didn't know it was this deep. How do you even understand all these things? Is there genuinely lore, or are we just filling in the blanks? Let me know down below if this is legit canon, and how do you get all these things? Is it the FNAF scenario where you gotta break it down?
One day he left behind his homeworld, but Geno wanted the kingdom to not lose their leader. In his place, he left behind a clone of himself known as a snapshot. There's still more research to be done into how snapshots truly work, but we do know they're created when someone leaves the loop. Originally, the loop worked very differently, but once Geno got his hands on it, he began to sculpt it for his own evil.
So Geno started out as good, right? Like a humble king. He left him his clone. He felt bad for his kingdom. He just wanted to understand the universe, and he got corrupted. Okay, right? So we know that Geno is bad. I'm very curious to how we get season 5 and the superheroes. Wait, I think that was season 4. No, that's season 3. That was a tough season, I'm not gonna lie.
Intentions. So along with the mysterious inner circle, Geno set out to create a new organization known as the Imagined Order. Their headquarters were built around the 0 point, with this location being codenamed the Bridge. With the newfound power, the IO were able to control the effects of the storm, alter people's memories, even unlock immortality. Now to recruit people for their perfect society, the IO created the Loop. It's a program that forces people to fight each other, but to make it a fair battle, it removes your memory, ability to speak, and every 22 minutes, you fight all over again. It sounds like a great way to judge people, but no one would ever agree to this. So they started kidnapping subjects from countless realities. It was working perfectly.
So it's like a TVA scenario. That's kind of crazy. And they're just kidnapping people and forcing them to fight. That's insane, dude. I did not know that was the lore.
As more fighters prove themselves, Geno offered them immortality in return for joining the Imagined Order. Not only that, their whole family could live on the island and experience the same benefits. It's why we see towns and houses on the map. Not everyone is as lucky though. In fact, some IO guards don't even know they had a previous life. Their memories got wiped as they're forced to know only one thing: how to protect the Order.
So those are just bots. Okay, so quick question. Do the people fighting know they have a previous life? Because I know they're kidnapping people. I was kind of lost there. I don't know.
Thousands of years later, the organization had grown massively and mostly went under the radar until they kidnapped the wrong people. Those who were way too intelligent for the loop and managed to escape it without consequences. This unlikely group of vigilantes are from all corners of the universe, and despite being very different, they have one goal: destroying the Imagined Order and liberating the 0 Point. We know them as the Seven.
So is the 7 good? Because they look kind of evil, not gonna lie. They're designed to look evil, I think. And yeah, the 7 might be good though. Well, Jonesy's definitely part of the 7, right?
On March 20th, 2018, people living on the island look up to the sky. Something is approaching. They rush to grab a telescope.
Okay, real quick. I put some... So I had like those drink mix powders. I put a sour like booster in it. So there's like a sour adding you could add. And now it's way too sour. Just so you know.
Getting a closer look at the object shooting towards them. It's a meteor. Panic ensues as they try to predict where it'll hit, with some villagers thinking it's aliens or an extraterrestrial visitor, and if only they knew how right they were. In April, TVs around the island begin to show an emergency broadcast to prepare for the collision. As the meteor gets closer and closer, they brace for impact. A huge crater is left in the ground as the Imagined Order rushes to investigate. They build a facility at the crash site, disguising themselves as the government. Well, unfortunately for them, they weren't fast enough. A mysterious character breaks out of the meteor and escapes the facility, and this is our first introduction to the Visitor.
This was in Chapter 1? Like, was this added stuff? You gotta let me know. Because I did not know that it was this deep in Chapter 1. Like Dirt Divot and all of that jazz. Are the writers to Fortnite actually cooking, guys, or are they just adding things? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
On a mission to test the capabilities of their airtight suits, which we learn later on protects them from the effects of the loop. It's a success, as he steals a rocket from a film set and converts it to rift back home. This was supposed to be a harmless mission. Instead, it began the Fortnite storyline as we know it, a simple rift that would ultimately invite pure evil to the island and kickstart 6 years of bloodshed and war. So before the Visitor's rift can close, a dark energy emerges. It's a cube? While this may look relatively harmless, it has the power to destroy the island in a single blow. It's bright purple flowing with corruption, which spreads
I remember the cube. Like, it added the jumping thing, right? So the cube just started eating everything.
Anyone who touches it. So this cube begins to roll around the island, leaving behind runes while searching for its target, the 0 Point. Eventually, the search leads it to Loot Lake, where the cube begins to
Wait, so the cube is good? It was heading after like the 0 Point?
Stabilize.
I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot, dude. It's hard to break down.
The 0 Point is barely able to defend itself, and within months, it's already facing a new threat. A huge shard of ice crashes into the island, bringing a harsh winter with it and a mysterious castle of unknown origin. It belongs to a power-hungry Ice King who we learn has plenty of prisoners. One of them is trapped in blocks of ice, and as the fragment crashes into the island, he's able to break free. With the chains gone, he's revealed to be the Fire King, a rival who is equally as powerful. Both of them want to take the island for themselves. As opposite elements, they can't survive the climate of
Let's be honest. The Fire King mogs the Ice King. Look at this. Drip's all right. Like, don't get me wrong, Drip's good, but look at this. We got Kratos over here versus the Ice King. He's got tears because how he knows he's outmogged, dude.
this place. So the Ice King covers the island in snow, cooling the temperature to his liking. His arch nemesis responds, stealing dragon eggs from the dungeon and using them to create a small army of hybrids. It's enough for him to fight back and create a huge volcano that'll destroy Polar Peak. But before his plan comes to fruition, the Ice King defeats him in a war, with the prisoner frozen in the ocean for good. Well, fortunately for him, the volcano still erupts, sending fireballs hurling at the
Is there an actual... So I keep seeing comic book clips, right? And is there an actual Fortnite comic book? If so, I genuinely would read that. Right now, it's kind of sounding fire. I honestly thought that Fortnite was like just adding a bunch of what they think the kids would like, kind of like, ooh, Spider-Man, cool. You know what I mean? Just adding random things to their lore.
Island's biggest cities, and of course, the castle. It breaches the iceberg, unleashing a monster that was secretly kept in the deepest dungeon. Yeah, it immediately breaks free, and the Imagined Order don't really care. They're perfectly fine with the monster damaging the island as long as it doesn't touch the 0 point. The solution is to create a doomsday weapon that'll wipe out everyone on the surface.
What? That's a solution? They're like, you know, guys, this is 0 point, right? We just don't want the 0 point harmed. So let's just nuke everything. Nah, dude, that's crazy.
Including the monster. Well, that's when a prisoner of their own speaks up. The Paradigm, a member of the Seven, explains that they can't just let everyone die, so she offers a better solution, to pilot a giant robot and kill the monster herself. They reluctantly move forward with the plan, constructing the mech in the hollowed-out volcano. It is time for the final showdown.
So the 7 is good. We do know that for a fact, right? The 7 seems good.
And in the ultimate live event, Paradigm slays the monster with a sword. The rotting corpse is left on the island. She knows that if she sticks around, the IO will recapture her, so she begins her escape, flying directly upwards into space. Her new mission, investigate where the monster came from. When they learn about this, the Seven are furious. They think she betrayed them by working with the IO, and after her escape, it's radio silence. Pretty quick, they learn that a robot was crashed into a nearby planet called the Ice Moon. The temperature is simply way too cold.
You know what's crazy? I keep seeing Iron Man and them in there, and I assume it was like some Marvel, and because we've seen a lot of Marvel in there. Has DC partnered up with Fortnite? That'd be kind of tough, don't get me wrong. But, so, is Fortnite now a Marvel comic? That'd be kind of crazy. But my original question was, why is the IO, or the TVA, or whatever they are, just letting the 7 get away with it? Because it was like, she was like, oh, well, I gotta get out of here before the IO come get me, right? So they're just not doing anything about all these things going on their island? No?
For a human to survive, so
Maybe
she must
I
have
missed
never
something.
made it. And that brings us back to the island,
Let
where
me
the
know if I
Imagined
did.
Order has bigger problems than their prisoner escaping. Before the monster was killed by Paradigm, it broke into the 0 Point's vault. Grabbing
Wait.
the orb, she used it to stun the Devourer, but
One
this
second.
left the 0
Did it say she never made it?
came from. When they learn about this, the 7 are furious. They think she betrayed them by working with the IO, and after her escape, it's radio silence. Pretty quick, they learn that a robot was crashed into a nearby planet called the Ice Moon. The temperature is simply way too cold for a human to survive, so she must have never made it. And that
She died. She died a hero though, right? That's good.
brings us back to the island, where the Imagined Order has bigger problems than their prisoner escaping. Before the monster was killed by Paradigm, it broke into the 0 Point's vault. Grabbing the orb, she used it to stun the Devourer, but this left the 0 Point exposed, and it was destabilizing fast. As it begins to implode, the Imagined Order has no hope of saving it, but luckily someone else does. The 7 are sworn protectors of the 0 Point. Time itself is breaking down, bringing the meteor and other locations from the past to the island. Out of the new meteor emerges our latest member, the scientist, who is already preparing a plan to save reality. He builds these rift beacons around the
My question is, why is the 7 so okay with what the IO are doing? It seems they both agree on protecting the 0 Point, right? And for some reason, they're just working together, kinda? You know what I mean?
island, using their power to gather resources and prepare the other members of the 7 for their plan. Together, they'll use rifts to unpause time and jumpstart the 0 Point into stabilizing. But for that to work, they need the meteor.
This meteor's tough, not gonna lie, right? I think they're shooting missiles at it. Oh, no. What's going on here? I hope you explain. That's kind of crazy. Bro, I kind of make fun of Fortnite sometimes. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? They're just doing anything these days. But these live events kind of seem tough. I'm assuming now the live events aren't as good as Fortnite are losing players, but this is mad sick, right? Don't get me wrong. I thought it was bad, but now I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad for making fun of Fortnite. Bro, what if we get a Jonesy cameo in Avengers Doomsday? That'd be kind of nuts. Don't get me wrong. That'd be kind of crazy. Yo, who you got winning? Batman? Right, we're just having fun, guys. So like. Bros just dancing to their demise, like hippity doo da, hippity doo. Nah, like what are you doing, dude? Right? If you're gonna emote during that, you gotta put like the shocked emote. You know what I mean? That was just chapter 1?
The island has now been reshaped by the 0 point, split into 2 pieces of land that sandwich the orb for extra protection. The Imagined Order needs to re-establish control over the island, and fast. They send agents to survey the area, but quickly they come face to face with their snapshots. But only one problem, these snapshots are different. They're altered by an evil mad scientist known as Chaos Agent. The scientist belongs to a secret crime syndicate Shadow founded by Midas, a powerful and greedy leader. His true power is in the form of the Golden Touch, a curse that was placed on him after
Midas is tough, dude. Look how sick he looks.
he tried to steal the treasures of an ancient king.
I've never seen this character before, but Midas might be my favorite character so far.
Despite this, Midas' organization is taken from underneath him as Chaos Agent rises to grab power. With his vast wealth, Midas makes a new organization, Ghost.
He has the banana and the kitty? Nah, Midas is tough.
And its purposes are very
I'd join
different.
Ghost.
Instead of committing crime, Ghost becomes a secret agency that spies on the mysterious activities around the island. Quickly, Midas learns about the Loop and the Imagined Order, and he is blown away by their evil plans. This causes him to recruit his daughter Jules, who's been a master engineer her entire life. To distract the IO from his plans, he wages war against Shadow to cover up his true intentions, building a device that'll destroy the Loop for good. He believes the key to doing this is the Storm. It's how the Imagined Order enforced the Loop by bringing it in every 22 minutes to kill whoever's left standing. So by pushing it back,
Midas broke the 4th wall. This dude started to understand the higher ups, right? That's like if we're in a simulation and we just figure out who's running the simulation. Nah, Midas is so
he'll
cold.
free everyone trapped by its wrath. What he doesn't know is that the Imagined Order is already keeping tabs on him. John Jones is a field agent who's dedicated his life to the Order. Under their oath, he has done covert work on the island hundreds of times, leaving a snapshot every single time he re-enters the loop. But before Jones can figure out Midas' plan, it is sprung into action as the device event. Midas' plan works, until things get weird. He didn't account for the fact that the storm isn't just lightning, it's alive and controlled by the 0 point.
Must be connected to the loop, but there's no way we could have predicted that.
Sorry, my computer glitched for a second there. It was mad weird, so I had to cut that.
In a defensive reaction, the storm protects itself by creating a giant wall of water. Midas has failed, and over time the wall collapses, flooding the island and wiping out Ghost and Shadow's territory. It isn't long.
What is the IA doing though? You know what I mean? Like, this is not what they had intended, was it? Maybe it is. It just seems like every bad thing going on the island, they're kind of quiet about.
Where Agent Jones has to face yet another threat to the IO's reign. Turns out that when the 0 point created this reshaped island, it released an enormous amount of energy. In a case of extreme unluckiness, it got the attention of a being from another universe, one that we are very familiar with. It is here that crossovers enter the storyline, because this threat from outer space is none other than Galactus, Devourer of Worlds. He's drawn to this massive energy surge and is desperate to consume the planet.
Bro, that's a step up, right? You got Midas in the IO, and now you got Galactus, who wants to munch on their universe. That's crazy work.
That contains it. Of course, it's the Fortnite Island, and because Galactus is from the Marvel Universe, it also brings a whole cast of characters to protect us. If he's able to devour the Zero Point, it would destroy—
Let me know, is Fortnite canon in the Marvel Universe?
reality as we know it. This kickstarts a plan from Tony Stark to build rift beacons around the map and bring his lab to the island. Every day, the island's residents see this being get closer, and just before he arrives, the plan is revealed. Tony spent all this time building custom battle buses and fitting them with explosives, cannons, and lasers, and now the day has come.
Do they think that's gonna stop Galactus? Right, Galactus eats universes, destroys universes, I'm not quite sure, but I know he is Galactus for a reason. You think a few battle buses is gonna do anything, Tony? Tony might be past his prime, let's be honest. During these live events, can you interact with Galactus? And what I mean by that is, if you go up here, will you die? That'd be kind of cool.
We're able to fight him off, and ultimately, he maybe got a little too much power before he rifted him away for good, and this causes major problems. With Galactus exposing the Zero Point, it has once again started to destabilize. We know this time period as the Zero Crisis, and this time the Seven aren't here to save it. So right now the Imagined Order is panicking, but for a different reason. They don't care if reality breaks down, they just want to make sure nobody jumps into the Zero Point and
Well, maybe because they're terrible at their job. The Imagined Order is genuinely sucky at their job. They don't care about the people on the island. They don't care really what happens with the island. What are they doing?
escapes the loop. So they send Agent Jones on a task. He travels through 80
Agent Jones working overtime, let's be honest, right? They put him through so much work. He needs a pay raise.
8 different realities, jump after jump, to recruit the
What happened to the original guy with the long black hair, the scientist? You know what I mean?
Galaxy's best bounty hunters, so they can hunt down those trying to leave. After spending months on this task, he returns only to find that the Zero Point is worse than he left it. He begs his boss, Dr. Sloan, to do something, but she won't listen.
What's the point of recording these logs if you're not gonna listen? We've lost control of the Zero Point. Do you get what that means? You must not, because you're doing nothing. I've dedicated my life to the Order. I've given everything. And for what? To just sit back and watch reality end? That's not who we are. At least it's not who I am.
Bro, why is that such a tough... This is such a tough scene. I didn't know Fortnite was serious like this.
Not anymore.
Time is running out and Jones refuses to submit. Instead, he takes matters into his own hands, defecting from the IO for good. And that's when he breaks into the bridge searching for a secret file.
This is Agent Jones requesting access to restricted file 8752. Oh, really? No time to stabilize reality, but plenty of time to revoke my credentials.
Why does he have so much aura? Bro.
This is Agent Jones requesting access to all materials related to the Seven. Oh, great! If you're not gonna give me what I need, I'm just gonna have to take it.
So he does.
Who voices him? Is this like a famous actor or something? Because I recognize that voice.
And with this newfound knowledge, he hops on a battle bus and heads straight for the island, where the Zero Point is on the brink of imploding. He rushes through all of the hunters he spent months recruiting and gets there just in time.
Unbelievable. It actually worked. Look, I know you have no reason to trust me, but... Oh no. Hang on! Let's talk! Let's talk!
Jonesy, you're an agent. You've most likely won the Fortnite Royale millions of times, and you're getting destroyed by this wannabe Ultron?
Geno! I can get you to Geno.
And the sisters?
I can get you all of them. But I need your help to fix that.
Finally, we are introduced to the Foundation, the leader of the Seven who has been rivals with Geno for centuries. Now that Jones has offered to give him Geno, he's actually willing to help protect the 0 point. As it starts to break down, the orb blooms like a flower. Jones has studied it his entire life, but this is the first time he's seen it react like this. Now, there's no time to admire it though. It's destabilized and is already way too far gone to save. The only option now is to contain the blast. The Foundation seals himself in a tower of stone, and in the ultimate sacrifice, tells Jones to overload his portal gun, leaving them both trapped in the loop.
So he had to make the sacrifice, and he doesn't even get Geno. That's kind of sad. But like he wanted to run the ones.
The Spire encases the 0 point, with reality waves sending the island into a wild and feral state. It's overtaken by a primal biome as the IO scrambles to maintain control. They bring in the Spire Guardians, who are here to defend the 0 point secrets from ancient hunters such as Raz. He claims that the Spire has been calling to him in his dreams, and he traveled here on a mission to learn its mysteries. While tracking down the island's artifacts, he discovers an unseen reality log left behind by Agent Jones. Raz immediately begins searching for the Spire's mysterious crystals, which in turn lead him to the ultimate artifact. Before we can stop Raz, one of Jonesy's snapshots gives us a chilling warning. There are people who think the Spire will make them powerful. It will, but it will also exploit their every weakness. Do not allow the Spire to corrupt someone powerful, or Jones does not stand a chance. Go now before the Spire attracts any more.
Or Jones does not stand a chance. So will Jones and the leader of the Seven like go away if they don't stop him?
Attention from the never mind, just hurry. Well, it's already a little too late because Raz has found a crucial artifact that is way too dangerous to wield on his own. This shard is all too familiar. It's a piece of the cube that almost destroyed the island with the corruption still intact. Upon wielding it, Raz succumbs to the darkness, becoming aggressive and evil. Now we're able to take it away from him in time, but
wasn't he already evil, dude?
the damage has already been done. Now before we can discover just how important this key moment was, a comic reveals an extraordinary amount of secrets hidden underneath the island. As a DC crossover, it revolves around Batman, who has been trapped in the loop after investigating a rift in Gotham City. As the world's greatest detective, he is able to prepare an escape plan. With the help from Catwoman, he escapes the loop by standing in the center of the storm in the final seconds. Now, free to roam the island out of the loop, he comes across a group of inhabitants. They form an alliance and decide to get out of Reality Zero for good. Only problem is, they can't just swim away, they would disintegrate. And now that they've escaped the loop, there are no second chances. Death is permanent. There's only one way to get home, and it's the same way they got here, through the 0 point. The group is able to unlock one of the metal bunkers on the island and head underground in search of an escape. The room is extremely ancient, protected by massive golems and swarms of IO guards. It's a tough battle, and in the chaos, Fishstick is killed by an...
Fishstick is killed? But Batman, why don't you stay? This place is probably better than Gotham. And why would you investigate some random universe, Batman? Mind your business.
Unknown figure. It becomes apparent one of the group is working for the Imagined Order. The others, still in shock, decide to carry on. The further they progress, the closer
it's Deathstroke. It's Deathstroke. Has to be Deathstroke.
they get to the 0 point. Eternal Voyager, in his desperation to escape, sprints into the orb and immediately gets split into a million pieces. The 0 point cycles through countless realities per second, which killed him instantly. He got his wish, he'll be voyaging for eternity. After hours of discussion, the group figures out how to calibrate the orb. Renegade Raider goes home first before one of the members reveals a dark secret. Deathstroke has been working with the Imagined Order all along. He was the one who killed...
I knew it, dude. It had to be Deathstroke. Always has to be Deathstroke, right? This man says he's on your team. He's not.
Fishstick. So they break out into a fight before tying up Deathstroke, and most of the others escape to the 0 point as the Gotham City crew are left standing. Once the 0 point has finally been calibrated to their homeworld, Deathstroke flees to Gotham City as...
It's kind of crazy that all of the like Fortnite people who's been there for years and years and years go first, while Batman, who been there for like 2 weeks, they make him wait last.
Batman and Catwoman go after him. Once they're home, the memories come flooding back. They may have worked together in the loop, but in their previous lives, they were rivals. More importantly, both of these events have worked together to allow the next phase of the story to progress.
Wait, so they didn't even know their like who they were, why they were doing it? and Deathstroke still be bad? That's crazy.
Heading all the way back to Raz, his use of the Dark Shard has gotten the wrong kind of attention. This is what Jonesy's snapshot warned us about. So as we look to the sky, UFOs begin to abduct loopers, crop circles appear, and a conspiracy theorist named Mari starts broadcasting about it. She warns the people of the island that aliens are coming, and this is far too dangerous for the IO. More importantly, Dr. Sloan, Agent Jones' boss, is dead.
Bro, the IO does nothing. You've convinced me the IO is genuinely, when you call a company and they're like, oh, well, there's nothing we could do, then why have a call center? Have you noticed that? Any freaking company that has these 24/7 call centers, they're like, oh, well, you can call if you have any questions. Why? Why is it there if you can't do anything?
Dedicated to shutting down this broadcast, but the invasion has already begun.
That's not good. The leader of the seven. I didn't see Jonesy though. It's
Sloan
weird.
has no choice but to fight against them in the name of keeping control and maintaining order. The mothership sends a huge army down onto the island known as the Chimera. Their goal, annihilate everyone while the ship above abducts major locations.
Hey, if you watch Hunter x Hunter, you know Chimera is not good.
Moves around taking Slurpy Swamp, Coral Castle, and has its eyes on Holly Hedges. The Chimera also scanned Looper's minds in an attempt to locate the zero point.
Bro, I miss Loot Lake. Loot Lake was the only real. It was about the only place I feel like deserved to never be changed on the Fortnite map. Loot Lake was such a W place. Let's make sure we know. Loot Lake. If you always, first off, if you went to the towers, I'm forgetting the name. Though it was trash. You were gonna die 15 seconds. Going to Loot Lake, boom. You know how to win.
But Sloan has an epiphany.
An old school
She's figured
Fortnite.
out that the imagined order has a mole who is secretly divulging information to the enemy. It's a perfect situation that can be manipulated as she feeds Maven false information.
Bro, why? Why do you care? The Imagined Order does literally nothing other than wanting to watch YouTube and people fight. That's it. They literally just watch people fight, and other than that, they do nothing.
Of course, this gets into the hands of the Chimera, who learn that the IO secret base of operations is at Corny.
And Geno, who knows where Geno is? Bro peaced. He's probably in Florida on retirement.
Props. And yes, this is true, but what they don't know is that Sloan has filled the complex with a huge bomb. So right on cue, they move to Corny and abduct the POIs, satisfied that they have cornered the Imagined Order. Only this is part of a secret plan known as Operation Skyfire, and Sloan recruits loopers, aka us, to sneak on board and make sure everything goes smoothly. We break out of prison, making our way through the mothership, which at this point is
High IQ play by Sloan. That's kind of cool.
full of guards and obstacles.
I was hating on the
Eventually,
order.
We make our way to the final room, an abduction chamber with Corny Complex and all of the bombs attached to it, primed
Again, Geno, nobody knows where Geno
and
is.
ready to go. Satisfied that Operation Skyfire is a near success, Sloan arms the bombs. Now, there's only one problem. The aliens have a last trick up their sleeve.
We thought it was gone for good. Last time it nearly destroyed the
They
island.
brought the cube back. That's crazy. They brought it for round 2?
We're able to shut it down, but with 2 minutes left until detonation, Sloan delivers the bad news.
You played your part. Now I have to play mine. We are fighting a war in which we are hopelessly outgunned. I won't bring you home. Not if there is a chance that thing can make it back to the island. Over and out.
Have you noticed that, like, people always say, like, the greater good speech when they're not involved? However, I get Sloan's thinking, right? You don't want the cube back in the island if it almost destroyed it the first time.
The loopers are panicking, desperate for a way out. We approach the dying cube and collectively use our power to remove its corruption and restore its purity. Now glowing blue, it's on our side until the ground begins
It's
to
the
rise.
Tesseract?
We've been standing on an elevator this entire time, and it was taking us higher and higher into the mothership. Turns out there's one final reveal, a plot twist that would send waves through the Imagined Order's ranks and change our perspective on the story forever. The Chimera didn't bring the cube from Chapter 1. In fact, they're not even the Chimera. That was just an enslaved army. The true evil is in this room. It is here we meet the last reality.
Bro, what? That's crazy. It's all cube. Wait. Alright, my theory is, before we keep going with the video, my theory is the cubes are aliens. I will say though, how did the cubes enslave the chimeras? Just asking. You know what would be kind of cold? If the writer of Fortnite or whoever's doing these events and stories genuinely had all this planned. I think about that a lot, right? Is how much of writers do they have planned for their later stories? Kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, especially the newer games. I wonder if Scott had plans for the Mimic and all of that jazz. And if he did, very cool. But I wonder if that was just retconned later. You know what I mean? Well, not retconned, but you know.
We may have taken down their mothership, but Sloane's plan backfired. Now all of these cubes have crashed onto the island, and one of them has become the most powerful villain to date. Sure, these are corrupted by a dark evil, but that power is controlled by a sinister character known as the Cube Queen. Exiting her golden shrine, she summons her army of caretakers and cube monsters to fight off the IO forces. Now you gotta understand, the
Okay, she's colder than Midas. She has drip, dude.
reality are very different to our villains of the past. Every threat we face has wanted to take control of the 0 point for themselves, aside from Galactus. But this motive is extremely worrying. The Cube Queen and her minions want to use a 0 point to destroy everything that has ever lived. Because it's tethered to all realities, they can eliminate life as we know it in an instant, making them
I've always
truly
wondered about those
the
villains.
last reality.
You know what I mean? Like, why do these villains want to destroy everything? I get being a villain, okay? If you're a villain, cool. But why do you want to destroy everything? That just seems like bad for everyone, right? Do you not care about yourself?
This plan has already come to fruition, but she needs the full power of her fleet back home in order to make it work. She sends her army of cubes to the center of the island, directly above the 0 point where they create a pyramid known as the Convergence. Sloane was fooled by the last reality during Operation Skyfire, but knowing what she's up against, it is finally time to put together a real plan, except she doesn't. Instead, the Imaginator are more distracted by their newfound prisoner, Agent Jones. After being stuck in the loop, he was arrested for
Average Imagine Order doing literally anything but their job.
treason, but little do they know, someone else has been discovered too. The Foundation, dropped at the bottom of the ocean, wakes up. Months have passed since he was ejected from the 0 point, and he has no idea where he is. Leaving the ocean,
Luckily, he had that mask on in a waterproof thing, or he'd drown.
stumbles across Gotham City, the last place that the 0 point was calibrated to. In this strange world, the Foundation is immediately approached by Batman, who assumes he's a threat. After fighting, they talk it out, where the Foundation reveals that he has sworn enemies with the Imagined Order, and has nothing to do with the loop. They want to take down the IO and liberate the 0 point, just like Batman does. He explains that the Seven have always had an advantage.
Batman, right? You literally have a city that is falling apart on the daily. I hear you. You're a hero. But do your job in Gotham. Let the other people do their job. You literally do anything but arrest. First off, you need to take some accountability. You have countless criminals. Right? Gotham Prison, genuinely Arkham Asylum, is just a place to meet up with the boys. They don't even care anymore. Arkham Asylum is just a place to go to and be like, so when you breaking out? I was thinking Tuesday. I don't know if I could do Tuesday. We got crossword night.
Over the IO, because they have the ability to create sideways rifts. This is a way to traverse different realities without the 0 point. This technology was experimented with in Chapter 1 through the rocket launch. The only problem is, it takes a long time for the rift to close, making it extremely risky. On the other hand, the IO doesn't know how to do this. They need to use pure portals, basically the ones opened by their guns. So learning all of this, Batman agrees to help the Foundation return home. Once back, he realizes that he needs to find Agent Jones immediately. A lot has changed since being thrown from the spire, but before then, he must update the other members of the Seven and figure out a plan to stop the last reality. Sloane and the Imagined Order have never cared about the fate of the island. As long as they maintain control of the orb, everyone dying, it's perfectly okay. It's happened time and time again, like the Zero Crisis or the Final Showdown, but the Seven, as usual, have to swoop in and save the day.
The last reality is at hand! Wake him up. You just had to be the hero, Jones. You know what happens?
He didn't even want to be a hero. That's my problem. is he was on your guys' side. He was cool with it. He was cool with you ruining reality until the one thing you guys supposedly care about was about to explode. Take out everything. And yet you were just doing nothing.
To heroes?
I have so much beef with the IO.
Live to fight another day?
Not this time. Do it.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
This isn't personal, Jones. Although I do plan to enjoy it.
She said that bit weird.
Someone see what that is. Impossible. I watched you die.
I got over it.
We got The Rock. Literally anyone else, right? No hating. I like some of his movies, but bro is probably the same person. He is in Jumanji, is in everything else. And let's just not forget the time when he was Black Lightning, somehow kidnapped the DC universe, was in control of it. They were literally retconning so much stuff, making Black Adam Superman's villain, and they're like, oh, sorry, nobody liked the movie. My gosh. Like, this guy. I was so hyped for this reveal, and then I got The Rock.
You came back for me.
You promised me, Jeno.
Well, love you too, buddy.
Everyone follow me to the bridge. We'll be safe there.
Rotation at 15 degrees.
Don't worry, guys. I'll move the bus by myself.
So that doesn't sound like The Rock. Is that a different person? If not, they couldn't get The Rock for multiple voiceovers. They just only for that one scene.
Right up here, and I will give you a water break soon.
I can't tell if that's the way to this episode. I'm forgetting Jeno. Wait, no, that ain't his name.
Careful, edges are high.
Rotation at 30 degrees.
That's the last one. We did it.
Where's my gun?
Okay,
Yo, that's kind of crazy how it changed again.
I may have dropped it.
Oh, wait. No, those are two different people. Okay, never mind. I apologize.
0 point.
Why does she make me keep saving you?
Well, what about that?
Did you just hear that? He said she. Bit strange.
Get ready to
Who was he
swim.
talking about? Maybe I missed it. Is that the Ice King? It's like, bro, is that the Ice King? If so, he's been irrelevant. Oh well, that's not good.
The island has flipped. The Imagined Order have been caught by total surprise, but so were the Seven. Their plan to take back control of the island has been
Why? It's just The Rock, the guy from Jumanji, the guy from Fast and Furious, pretty much anything else The Rock's played.
stopped short by the caretaker breaching the wall. And because of this, their hiding spot for the past 4 years has been revealed. This whole time, they were living on the other side of the island at a place named Sanctuary, where they could keep their friends close, but enemies closer. Now, this peaceful retreat has been exposed to the Imagined Order, who are furious and already planning their counterattack. The Seven and IO have been at each other's throats, but never took full-scale action against each other until now, where the tension has reached boiling point, and thus, the Zero War begins.
Where's Jeno? Again, right? Bro is doing nothing.
As the Seven recruit as many loopers as possible, the IO already has them outgunned. Other members of the team join the fight, such as the Origin, who is drafting up battle plans to push back against the army. He has one of the most interesting backstories in the Seven. Once known as the Cube King, he ultimately realized that their dark energy could only be used for evil.
Wait, the Cube King? So he was the original Cube Queen. That's kind of crazy.
So he escaped, leaving his identity behind for a new life. He was captured by the Imagined Order shortly afterwards, who tortured him for answers, but one day, the Seven broke in and rescued him. He walked out of that prison with a new name, The Origin, and has been their field tactician ever since. But he's not the only member with an intriguing life. The Order and the Imagined are the sisters that Foundation asked Jones to find. We don't know how they were reunited, but both of them are available to help in the war against their father, Geno. The Imagined has been...
Well, you're not gonna be fighting your father. You're gonna be fighting, I'm forgetting her name, right? The one person that Jonesy was answering to. Geno's retired, dude. He is literally in Palm Beach. He is in a retirement community. It's crazy work.
Spending her entire life trying to take revenge on her father. As children, he genetically
Wow, he hasn't
modified
done
them to be
anything.
perfect warriors with immortality and super strength. Reality was their playground, but one day, things changed in an instant. One of the members of his inner circle offered him a bed. Could the sisters become the first ever to escape the loop, and how long would it take? Geno was confident, but his obsession with perfection was also their downfall. The sisters did end up escaping the loop, but not fast enough, and when they returned home, the loop had created snapshots. Only these versions were more brutal, and Geno had a realization. He replaced his own daughters with more powerful snapshots, forcing the sisters to turn their backs on him and join the Seven under new names. However, despite being twins, they have very different motives. The Order wants to help destroy the loop and give people their freedom, while the Imagined simply wants revenge. Despite all of this manpower, there's only one person left who could help win the fight, and she crashed onto the Ice Moon years ago. Yes, the scientist is adamant that reaching Paradigm will turn the tide in their favor. As far as the others are concerned, Paradigm is dead and a traitor, yet the scientist always held out hope. He's in love with her and is desperate to see her again. After breaking through to her, turns out she's alive but trapped inside the mech. To convince the others, scientists...
That's crazy, dude. Literally, they were there. They saw her, and they were like, oh, well, she's probably dead, so we're not gonna check the mech. What you gonna do?
tells him that he was talking with the AI in her suit instead. At that same time, Sloane is busy on her counterattack. With the Loopers rally behind the Seven, she realizes they're losing the battle and decides on a more destructive plan. Instead of wasting resources by fighting on land, she calls up her Doomsday Department and begins working on a device known as the Collider. Yeah, the same one that was going to be used during the final showdown before Paradigm talked them out of it. If it destroys the Seven for good, Sloane will stop at nothing to achieve that goal. The Order hears about these plans and tells the others. The rescue mission is a go, not for Paradigm.
Yeah, and they're all like, oh, well, the leader of the Seven wants Geno. The daughters want Geno. And literally Sloane is their problem. Geno hasn't been doing nothing other than like farming, playing his video games. Who knows what Geno's doing? Where is Geno?
But for her mech, which will be essential to destroying the Collider and winning the Zero War. Before they could do that, they need a powerful energy in order to power the mech, called the Zero Shard. In a secret mission, the Seven sneak into the bridge with the help of Agent Jones, who explores the wreckage. He finds his old office, which is now upside down, and picks up a framed photo. It's of his wife and kids, which he left behind hundreds of years ago. You see, when you join the Imagined Order, you swear an oath, and in return are granted immortality. Your family can also take this offer, but they need to live on the island, and Jones's family refused to do that, despite living on a dangerous homeworld. As a result, they weren't immortal and only had protection. They lived to ripe old ages, as Jones was forced to watch his wife die. As his kids got older too, he told the Imagined Order that he wanted to go back and grow old, dying with his grandchildren that he barely knew. He was just too useful to Sloane by then, and she reminded him that if he quit, his family would lose the protection on their homeworld. So he stayed, for descendants he has never met. Now that is eating him up inside, and as he dwells on it, the mission must continue. They continue their search for the Zero Shard, eventually finding out that it's located on the Ice Moon. Perfect, they can crush two birds with one stone. Well, that's until they approach a frozen castle, something that has remained undisturbed for a very long time. As the crew walk inside, they find a room full of artifacts, ancient weapons frozen in pillars, and at the
Simpler times when it was the Ice King and the Fire King. Oh, they about to revive
end
the
of
Ice
the
King?
corridor, the Ice King, who reveals his true intentions after all this time. Greetings, visitors. To reach my throne room alive is an achievement indeed. Uncounted ages ago, brave allies and I began collecting.
So the Ice King just kind of chilled? He's just there now, right? He won this war maybe. I don't even know what happened to him. He was there for like 5 seconds and then he just peaced.
protecting items of power, things and beings too dangerous to exist. My worst fears were realized when my staunchest comrade argued for using these items to alter realities to our liking. I was forced to freeze him, my other knights, and all we had acquired. So yes, this explains why the Ice King and Fire King were at war with each other, despite the fact that they used to share a round table. He wasn't a prisoner because of a
They used to be besties?
small disagreement. The Ice King was protecting reality this entire time. The reason the Ice Moon is so uninhabitable
W Ice King, W Ice King.
is because it was designed that way, so he could be isolated for all time. Now that they're standing in his impenetrable fortress, their presence here proves they're—
So I know like Jonesy's the default skin, but if you guys remember, it used to be like 5 different characters. What happened to them? Do you remember them? Or is that just me?
too dangerous to remain free. But before they can be wiped out by the Ice King, a familiar face shows up. Paradigm. She grabs them and destroys the castle. We're headed back to the island one way or another. The Zero War is about to end.
Crew to battle stations.
When did she get a new decal on her mech? Like her mech got upgraded. It used to be the pink bear. What happened?
We don't have much time to hit the collider.
Sorry, I'm wearing 2
Clear
shirts
path.
because I'm
I'll
cold,
get us
but
there.
it looks weird when the red's right there.
Legend? I thought you were on the case.
Yeah. Nothing we can't handle. Just as soon as we figure it out.
All enemy forces have been eliminated. This is our chance. Divert power to blade strike. Hold on! Eject!
In the wreckage, the final battles commence. Dr. Sloan is the Seven's last obstacle before reaching the collider.
Sloan!
Again, the boss isn't there. But my, right, if you don't know, right, you'd have to have supreme bow knowledge for this. But when I heard mash, I heard mash potatoes. And if you know what that's from, right, I'm thinking of a certain YouTuber's series. If you don't know that series, it's crazy, right? This is an OG series. All right, it's Skylanders by Stampy Cat. Stampy Cat was goated, by the way. If you don't know who Stampy Cat is, he was like, I don't know how you don't know him, but genuinely Stampy Cat was the best YouTuber, probably, I'd say best gaming YouTuber of all time. Yes, you have like the quick edits and there are some really good ones out there, don't get me wrong. There's like Dan TDM, but Stampy Cat for kids, genuinely bro didn't edit, he didn't do nothing, he kept your attention span good, and he just filmed himself playing a game. He didn't put on an act, didn't put on a character. It was great. It was great. Go to YouTuber. Go to YouTuber.
Always so dramatic.
I was thinking of his Skylanders series. I don't know if I said that.
So with
Well,
Sloan out
Jonesy's
of the
gone.
picture, the Order and the Imagine look
Oh.
up, only to spot their father, Geno. He's here to personally face off against them and gets the Order in a chokehold. This is ridiculous. You're still my blood. Just ask and I'll let you live. Send you somewhere safe. Little does he know, the Imagine isn't very interested. I have a better idea. We'll set you somewhere, father, everywhere. In one last sacrifice, the Imagine decides that killing Geno is worth the cost. She gets her final wish, tackling him straight into the 0 point, and as it cycles through countless realities, they are both ripped apart, atoms scattered across the Omniverse.
Who is that?
The 0 point is focused on Geno. This is our best chance to find him.
Let's go!
They didn't just die.
All right, it's up to you now. We don't have much time. Don't worry, I got you.
That Geno just died, no? I am so confused, bro. Literally, my brain is broken. Okay? It's everywhere. Trying to understand this is crazy work.
Jones and the Foundation chase Geno, not expecting to see him fading away. Imagine has died in his arms, and he's slowly passing too. Geno has one final message for the Foundation. You always believed my methods were abhorrent, that you knew a better way. Congratulations, and now you get to prove it. I genuinely hope you're right, because if you fail, it means the end of everything.
Yo, bro put the, you want to call me evil? You do my job. Figure it out. See, I hope you're right, but you're wrong.
I have to go now. I have to admit, it's good to lay my burden down after all this time. It'll be nice to rest. He fades into nothing. Geno is dead and the Imagined Order have been defeated.
Nah, there's something going on. Geno, the way he said that, it's cooked. It might be
The
cooked,
Zero
guys.
War is over and they won. Celebrations across the island spread like wildfire. Now the Zero Point is finally liberated. It can blossom, nature takes over, but not everything is as it seems. The orb starts sending out distress signals, and strange relics begin to appear around the island. The scientist is confused and can't understand why it's doing this. But it's all the work of a villain hiding in the shadows, a herald who is secretly using the Zero Point to search across the Omniverse. And in her search, she finds the Nothing. This is a truly evil presence that gives her the dark power of Chrome, and it's about to be unleashed upon the island in the name of her old friends, the Last Reality. With Geno out of the way and the Seven caught off guard, it consumes everyone. The scientist, Origin, and a whole lot more are—
So Geno was fighting it off? Oh, sorry. Okay, but so Geno was fighting it off? That's crazy. Bro was literally fighting this thing, helping people survive, and I was hating on him.
devoured, turned into Chrome, while Paradigm is the sole survivor. The only thing she can do is return to her homeworld, creating a plan that'll bring her friends back and save reality. Except Chrome is just too powerful.
Yeah, this has got a Silver Surfer. Yeah, they're cooked. What are you gonna do? Literally, someone shows up with metal and you fire bullets at it? Do you think that's a good idea? I'm sorry, it's not. Get the big panda bear back. More like it. I like seeing more of that. That worked? Really? Yeah, didn't expect it to. She was flexing on them, guys. She was flexing on them. She was like, really? You want to hit me with a rocket launcher? Now I'm gonna just destroy it.
The Herald destroys the island to expose Zero Point, ready for the Last Reality to swoop in and take it. Lucky for us, in a surprising turn of events, the Zero Point protects—
They're all dead? Is that are they actually all dead? That's insane.
itself, destroying the mothership and fleeing. It's here that Paradigm comes into play. Using Zero Fusion, she's able to work with the orb and rebuild the island. Grabbing from countless realities to form a new world, everything is pieced back together. With the Seven turned to Chrome and the Imagined Order gone, it is time for a fresh start. On this new island, the scientist robot assistant, Amy, leaves us with a final message from Paradigm. She asks us to deliver a mysterious kinetic ore to the one who lives in this medieval castle. We do so, learning that its ruler is the Ageless, a young king who looks a little too familiar. The reality was brought to the island during Zero Fusion.
Yeah, that's, I'm pretty sure that's Geno.
And it becomes apparent who this actually—
Wait, are we? No, don't tell me it's one of those things where it's like an endless time loop where it always ends and starts with him. That'd be crazy.
is. Judging from the banners, his appearance, and obsession with perfection, we're looking at Geno. Well, a snapshot of him. This is the ruler of the Oathbound who's left in Geno's place when he abandoned his homeworld. His right-hand man is Stellan the Rift Warden, who wishes—
I forgot about him.
to create a bridge to new realities. It wasn't possible with their medieval technology until they were brought to the island and discovered kinetic ore. With our refined version, they have unlocked the power to create pure portals. Yes, the origins of the Imagined Order are replaying themselves in real time, and the ore was a big help. But Stellan can't make this portal without another influence. A voice that guides him every step of the way. He kept this to himself, terrified of what he would do if he disobeyed their orders.
There is a being, a shapeless man. He watches us with dark purpose. If we do not finish the rift gate, the consequences will be
So the IO was under someone.
terrible.
So Jinno was reporting to the shapeless dark figure.
The final step in building this bridge to realities is deep in the forest, a bronze vault made to protect the 0 point. Of course, you need this power in order to make pure portals, and the voice in Stellan's head shows in the way. Except, it's quickly becoming obvious that this rift gate wasn't made to connect realities. It's a portal leading to the shapeless man. More importantly, this voice in Stellan's head has dark intentions, and his identity could already be known. Only one man has the overwhelming power to rebuild himself atom by atom. The real Jenno. Turns out that after the Foundation and Jones left him to die, this wasn't the end of his story. And while he remains shapeless, he's directing his original kingdom to bring him back to the island.
No! I just realized... Yo, the real Jenno? Bro has so much aura. He literally died, came back as the dark figure, and manipulated his way back to the... That's insane. That W story, bro.
At least that's the intention.
I used to hate on Fortnite. Like, I used to hate on all their events and stuff. I didn't know it was connected like this. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'd watch this as a TV show. Fortnite, the TV show, let's make it a thing.
Begins an investigation of her own as we send test subjects through the gate. They return disfigured or corrupted by darkness. It seems that everything Amy sends through the portal immediately goes searching for him as he is her creator. But when they return, they give us an update on the fate of the Seven.
He's different now. They're all different now. As we speak, they change. It sculpts his existence anew. A fate darker than the worst imaginable. You'll find him. But will you get there in time to save him?
So the Rock is evil now?
The Foundation once said that their armor keeps them alive in different realities, even the nothing beyond them. But after being devoured by Chrome, they're different now, slowly losing themselves to the darkness. Amy, as a robot, is programmed to protect the scientist and does everything in her power to save him. She prepares a rescue mission with a new body and goes through the rift gate. This will be the last time we see Amy. Instead, the portal begins to destabilize, bringing more realities to the island before breaking down and closing.
Where's Jonesy?
The resulting earthquakes cause the ground to collapse on itself, revealing this abandoned world. The Shapeless Man's plan failed, but there's another villain around the corner and he will change the storyline as we know it forever. Before that happens, we look deep into the jungle where our mind is blown. In the wreckage of a crush tank, Dr. Sloan emerges. She survived the Zero War and is confused by how she got here. However, it's not long before she gets her bearings and begins to investigate this.
That was such a anticlimactic. Dr. Sloan was literally phoning it in for so long.
Strange ancient
all she was doing was like making Jonesy do all the work.
In the ruin, she finds markings that predict the future, along with an apparatus used by those who lived here thousands of years ago. She had no idea what happened to this society. They were an advanced civilization who used the stars to project the future, and yet they vanished without a trace. The markings seem to show an incoming eclipse that'll bring the end of the world. But with further research, Sloan realizes that this phenomenon isn't natural. How could the ancients predict this with the stars if it wasn't a natural event? There's only one explanation: it has already happened before. They're warning us that soon it'll happen again. So Sloan realizes the signal is all too familiar and calls an old friend for backup. And just like that, it's time for the eclipse to arrive. As the daylight is covered and the island is shrouded in darkness, Cato Thorne makes himself known. He's a vampire who's made a whole career collecting various artifacts from across reality. On the surface, he runs a successful hotel resort business.
So he's just a businessman.
But in the shadows, Cato has a time machine. He uses this to travel through history, collecting relics and
average business billionaire, like, yeah, that makes sense.
treasures for his own personal collection, such as Oro's skull, Midas' severed hand, and an ancient calendar which seemed to have
I want to see Midas come back. He had so much. He was so cool.
Is to the Seven. Now he's arrived in 2023 at the perfect opportunity for Sloan to pull off a daring heist. She's abandoned the imagined order, or what's left of it, realizing the error of her ways, or so we think, as she keeps to herself and focuses on this mysterious plan. Phase 1 of this operation involves stealing the time machine from under Cato Thorne's nose. She hires a group of professional thieves to pull off the heist of a century as they sneak into his mansion and get away without a problem. Before Cato can retaliate and feast on his prey, he has even bigger worries. As a time-traveling vampire, he has made...
Did we just forget that Jinno was, like, reviving himself? Did I miss a part where they stopped him? Or is that just what happens? You gotta let me know.
A lot of enemies.
Also, let me know if you want me to see, watch the next chapters, because I think there are following videos updating this, And honestly, this is a sick story, so I would gladly do it. But that's gonna be up to you, so just please leave a comment down below if you want to see it. That'd be cool.
Especially hunters like Shimmerdusk who have spent years chasing him. Now, without the time machine as an escape route, Kato is left defenseless, and she slays her arch nemesis once and for all. With Kato dead and the device in Sloane's hands, it's time for Phase 2. They experiment with the machine at a temporary headquarters, bringing artifacts from 2018 to their front yard. It functions as intended, and Sloane is confident that this will work. She just needs a helping hand from an old acquaintance.
Bro, I wish I could, I would say 2016. No, probably before that. 2010 to 2018 was peak years. And not for nostalgia reasons, as everyone likes to claim, but honestly, media. TV shows were better. Most games were better. Just, there were so much things that were better. The music, don't get me, EDM pop was peak pop, dudes. And if you haven't, if you haven't seen the Minecraft renditions of the EDM pop, go do that now. I recommend check out Lachlan's music videos. His were really good. So yeah.
Agent Jones. He's laid low after the Zero.
No, wait to finish my video first. Jeez. Why are you leaving now?
But with Sloane's influence, she persuades him to go on her secret mission, to go to the past. His goal is to extract an unknown thing or person without changing the timeline. So they set the date, July 12, 2018, and Jones begins his journey.
By the way, anything I missed or I didn't, I've asked questions, anything that didn't make sense to me. So if someone down in the comments does want me to see the next chapters, leave answers to those questions, please. That'd be really great.
All that's there to guide him are audio logs left by Sloane, as she sends messages from the future back in time with a deadly reminder.
Everything you do will ripple forward to this very moment. You're back here for a reason. And it's not to change the future, by the way. Drop that fantasy right now. This is an extraction, and you're leading the way.
Well, despite this, Jones has started to alter the timeline. The Ice King and his prisoner never arrive in the island. The mech never gets constructed. And in order to complete his extraction, Jones ties the time machine to the scientist's rocket.
So Jones does everything he was told not to do.
Future for the
average his
moment.
Unknown. Average Jones moment.
This is the first time in countless lifetimes that I don't know what happens next. We're both heading off into the unknown. I guess this is goodbye for this me and that you. But we'll meet again. Reality's not done with us yet. Keep the campfires burning, Jones. Wherever and whenever you go.
Thank you guys so much for making it to the end. This has been something me.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please go watch the original video. That was really great. Really, I have a lot of knowledge I took in. I got some of it, but I did ask questions if I slipped a few. So if you want to let me know about that, that'd be great. If you want to see me react to the next chapters, let me know. And I'll see you next time. Bye!